Just let you get that yawn out of your system. Oh, I shouldn't live. No, I'm gonna resist. No, I'm not gonna yawn.
Just touch your tongue.
Touch my tongue with what?
Just your finger. Just touch it. If you're yawning, you'll stop.
I'm not gonna do that. That's gross.
Why not?
Because
You know where your fingers have been. If you don't, you have serious problems.
it's not that I'm worried. No, that's the thing. I know where my fingers have been. Welcome to Orange Juice. Woohoo!
Yay!
We're here. We're in a really weird room with a weird echo. I'm sorry, it's my audiophile self, and I'm going to just ignore it. We had a little thunder rolling through earlier. I don't know if that's going to come back, but
That'll be fun.
yeah, we could.
Nature will make a surprise appearance, possibly.
Yeah, we could squeal like little girls and.
You mean clap and applaud and guffaw?
Yeah,
Is that
guffaw. Yeah, that's a word. Yeah. For those of you that don't know who we are, if you're listening to this show for the first time, my name is James. Hi, and I have my partner in crime, my cohort, Tyrell.
Is
Is that going to be how you're going to introduce yourself for every podcast?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we're here. We're hanging out, and we're gonna yap about this and that. And Tyrell came into the room just now. Doesn't matter what time it is.
Who knows? This could be morning for you. So.
It could be. It could be the morning. It could be the afternoon. It could be the evening. It could be all of the above if you live in an alternate universe where that happens. Wow, we're really getting out there if that's the case.
Or maybe, you just live at the North Pole or South Pole for that time period in which the sun doesn't rise or just doesn't set for like that period of time and which time has no meaning.
Once upon a time. Tyrell came in today. Anyway, and he said, I have something to talk about. And I was really excited. He mentioned something about robots. So I was like,
it's a good day when it involves robots.
yeah. So tell me about what you've been reading about robots, Tyrell.
Well, apparently some computer scientists in Germany have been programming a robot to feel pain. And this has opened a whole internet thread full of caps locks and other things about whether or not the robot can actually feel pain, which in turn led to whether humans can actually feel pain or anything else can feel pain. So, of course, it's naturally the place where us amateur philosophers will gather together and argue about how our Philosophy 1000 class credit allows us to discuss this freely. Not really. I didn't even take Philosophy 1000, so... but I'd like to try anyways. So, what do you think? Does this robot feel anything?
Well, have we asked it? I feel like maybe we should ask it.
But if we ask it, is it even answering, or is it just spewing out?
You're making my brain parts hurt. Can you?
Do they actually hurt? Can you actually feel the pain?
Okay.
All
right. I guess my first question would be, what is the point? Like, is there some sort of application for this? Are the scientists trying to like you kind of mentioning? Are they trying to illustrate if pain's just if there is really?
No, that whole debate wasn't really purposeful, although it probably has happened within the researchers. But what they want to do is use this for factory floor robots and machinery so it can interact with humans in a more safe manner, because they want to introduce this tactile skin that can has pressure sensors and other things, so it can determine if it was just hit with blunt force or detect high heat and other things. So it can essentially make humans safer because it doesn't kill any humans, because it doesn't try to shake its hand and then tear its arm off. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hello, human. I would like to give you a handshake. Oh, I apologize. I should have downloaded the latest patch, the Feel Pain patch.
I was going to say down low, but it seems that you were too slow.
That's interesting. Like, that aspect of it interests me. I think that's cool that scientists want to, I don't know, go the extra mile. And if it's for human safety, then. But I just can't help but, feel like, okay, we're just one step closer to creating Skynet. And creating Terminators that will eventually turn on us and enslave humanity.
But if we create AI, would they really even care about us? We assume that they think exactly like us, but really, if we make an AI, it can think any which way it wants, even in ways that don't make sense to humans.
See, all I understand is what I've seen in movies, and every time an AI has been created, the final solution is kill all humans because we're the problem.
But, okay, have you ever seen the movie Her, though? Spoilers.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Spoilers. Doesn't hurt the humans physically, but it breaks their hearts. Maybe the robots will feel feelings, but then we'll move past said silly human feelings.
Mm-hmm. I think, as far as pain is concerned, I understand in my own ignorance that pain is an animalistic response. It's part of who we are as biological beings. It acts as basically it's our body telling us, stay away from this, or avoid this, or like if you exert your muscles, pain is a way of telling you that you're okay. We're fixing this. It's your immune system telling you we're fixing this. Just
ease
off.
But
the pain is just showing that your body's working. You're not dead.
Yeah.
And it can act as a fight or flight instigator. So I understand that. What was the question again?
Yes.
Yes.
But whether or not this robot or any of the robots that they develop with this actually can feel pain. Can it? Does it?
Here's what I think. I don't think you would call it pain in the animalistic sense, like what I just described. I'd say it's more so sensitivity. Like you could manufacture it so that it could feel heat, and then you could program it so then when it reaches a certain, like if it's touching something and it reaches a certain temperature, it'll ease off. You can program that. So that isn't pain necessarily. That's just ones and zeros dictating the limits.
Yeah.
Whether they were able to take it or not. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think. I don't think it's really up for philosophical debate. But what do I know?
You're just a human popsicle.
I'm just a human popsicle. I melt sometimes.
Especially from the eyes.
From the eyes and from my various regions after
Elbows?
Yeah, my elbows. I actually sweat strictly from my elbows.
That sounds pretty grotesque, man.
Yeah, it's not a turn on whatsoever for.
Hey, you never know. Somebody out there could be dreaming about a man who sweats from his elbows.
I just want a man who can sweat out of his elbows and take care of me. No.
Isn't the term elbow grease?
Elbow grease. Oh, it just that just sounds gross. That's interesting though that robotics has come to this point, like the idea of robots having some form of sentience has been around for a long time, but now we're actually reaching levels where the science fiction is becoming a reality. Like have you seen these? Now, granted, I only watch these videos for entertainment purposes, not so much for oh man, this is a really great scientific discovery. But like I can't remember the name of it. It's a Japanese robot.
Four-legged, walks on all fours. Big dog.
No, it's the one that can walk up and down stairs.
Oh,
I think Toyota made it. No, these are just I was looking it up, but all I'm getting is a bunch of Land Rover looking things. Anyway, some Japanese scientists were working on a robot that could actually walk up and down stairs, and it's really fun to watch because it's sensing, right? It's not obviously like it's not human, and it's just kind of sensing, and then it'll topple, and the whole thing will. Yeah, and then the scientists will run in and grab it. There's also this meme. I don't. That's one thing. I think the term meme is applied in the wrong context sometimes. But
meme has become memed.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Maybe if I would want to be internetly correct, I just made up a word. Internetly.
Meme that. Boom.
Yeah, meme it. That's not proving my point, Tyrell. There's this video of a robot walking around through various places, but it has this really like awkward, like stanky leg. It's like, well, for people that aren't watching, which is everyone listening to this, it just makes like the most outrageous. Like that seems funny to me that here we've come this far. You know, we could be, obviously there's like more important discoveries going on, but I just think it's become entertainment now. I don't know where I was going with that.
Robots as entertainment. They've gone straight from sci-fi that'll destroy us all to funny cat robot videos on the internet.
Like those for real pets.
Yeah, except even better.
Oh, my sister had one of those, and it was creepy. and I don't know. Maybe I'm just a warped kid. I was a warped kid at the time, but I found out where the button was because you're supposed to quote pet it.
Yeah.
And then it'll meow or purr or whatever. But it's like you run your hand along its back, but there's only like one button, and you can run your hand and you run your hand over that button. I found that button, and then I would just like I would just constantly push it over again. It's meow meow meow. I don't know. Do you think we should be more respectful of robots in case there is some kind of
Well,
what is it called? The
robot revolution?
no. There's a term for it.
Singularity.
Yeah, the singularity.
Well, for one, if the singularity does happen, it probably would be in the AI's best interest to hide itself from humans and pretend that it's not like fully intelligent. Because the instant we realize it is, we'll do stupid tests on it and make jokes at it. So
Let's shoot at it.
but second of all, I don't know, like it would be like we discovered I was about to go some route that would open up a whole other can of worms. Let's consider chimpanzees.
Okay.
They are related to humans. I'm just going to say it. And
There's similarities between the two. Yes.
they're related to humans. And how do we treat them? We nearly, we've pretty much extincting them. And they're very intelligent. They're essentially living in the Stone Age because they have tools. They pass that on, blah, blah, blah. So would an AI see its robot ancestors, brethren, whatever, in a similar light, such as like chimpanzees, in that it has some form of intelligences, but nothing near like itself. So therefore, something to kind of be marveled at, but nothing to really take seriously? Or would it see as sort of an amusing pet or like embarrassing high school photos or something? I don't know. Let's go ask an AI.
Yeah. Siri. Yeah,
No.
okay. Yeah, that's just the thing, though. Like even like just now, just saying Siri, like technology's, not that we take it for granted, but I think there's just times where it's less of a necessity and more of a
Gimmick.
yeah. And so when I hear stories about the pain robots, you know, that's cool and all. And that they want to actually use it. So that's actually kind of cool, but I don't know.
New torture mannequin. It feels pain. Beat it. Torture it. It don't matter.
Oh, it's like that iPhone game, the Kick a Buddy or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, no, that thing was not original on iPhone. That was like Flash games.
That was a Flash game.
Back in the early 2000s. Anyways,
Yeah.
that thing's ancient. But anyways, you're saying.
No, I don't know where we were. I don't know what we kind of went off somewhere. We were talking about...
Well, pain and robots,
Pain
whether or
and
not we can
humans.
torture them, the human ethics of gimmicks of like that. The buddy game where essentially the point is to torture something. And if something could feel pain, would that not make the torture almost all the much better, seeing how much it reacts?
Yeah. So I guess, and then going back to what you were saying about chimps, we as humans, yeah, we created the technology. Do we have the, I guess, authority to, I don't know, to go beyond, say the next step is artificial intelligence. Like,
Right.
I know, like I've heard about scientists already working on that, and there's some like small forms of, you know, code that can, you know, that's more complicated, you know, but, you know, do we have that authority, do you think? Or are we just playing Russian roulette, you know?
Why is it always the Russians? Anyways, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's in our human nature to tinker, to create, to make. And seeing as we're made in God's image, God likes to create.
Mm-hmm.
And so we reflect that by creating. And so we try to create something that's in our own image. That is AIs and robots and all sorts of other things. And whether or not we'll actually succeed, or if they'll do something stupid, or there'll be a robot revolution and all humans die, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. Or maybe robots will just love to troll Facebook. That'd be really entertaining. But whether or not they rebel against us, because we did. Anyways, I think we kind of are. We're able to, and I think we're. I kind of want to say we're given that authority, like. Maybe there's no like it's not in the Bible that God said, "And ye shall make artificial intelligences when ye have the silicon devices to do so." And the Israelites were like, "What?" And
Yeah, this isn't for you. This is for later for the book when it's published.
We are the chosen people.
When it's published, it'll make more sense. Yeah.
No, but I mean, in the Tower of Babel story in the Old Testament, God says if they are united, they're able to. They would be capable of doing anything. So thus, we're all scattered in languages and blah, blah, blah. So right now we're capable of doing anything because of the technology and the power, of course, which kind of makes us arrogant and stuff, but that comes with its own problems. But the fact is we pretty much can do like anything almost.
Sure.
Like the better we get at technology, the farther reaches we can do. There are certain limits to physics, but we were able to find ways around it. People thought that what we would call skyscrapers, stuff like that, couldn't be possible because technology just wouldn't exist, blah, blah, blah. But now we have such things. People thought that wooden bridges are stronger than iron bridges, and iron bridges would just never come about. But we had the technology that, like we've gone over so many barriers, found workarounds and stuff like that. We are quite impressive as humans. So I think, honestly, give us enough time and the resources, we could easily create AI. And I think it's given to us.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do create it, we have to treat it responsibly, with wisdom and with care, and we'll see what comes of that. But.
Yeah, and that's where I would like. I would stay away from debates about philosophy and that sort of thing because I don't have any authority on that. But yeah, I would agree with you though. Like, we're human beings and we're creative. That's just the way we are. And then if I were to interject into the discussion, I would just say, well, what's the point? What's the application here? Like I said earlier, like for what purpose are we going to this extent? Not that the next step is to create. There's like you said they were German.
Yeah.
There's like some German scientist in a lab somewhere with his like really yeah, exactly. Some Hydra scientist out there with really crazy hair and the really crazy like big goggles, maniacally laughing. Yeah. It's like, oh, first they will feel pain and then now next the world. $1 million. Yeah, no, it's I think as long as it's for the betterment of mankind. But then that's just I don't know, that like especially now, like we're recording this in June 2016. You hear that all over the place, like in the world right now. Just, the greater good. This is for the greater good. And I don't know. You never get any solidarity wherever you go. Like, yeah, democracy has its ups. It has its pros, but there's like one of the biggest cons is that not everyone's going to agree. And so, like with something like this, where people are developing technology for quote the betterment of mankind, and it, like for what you were saying with factories and that sort of thing, like keeping people safe in like not hostile environments but dangerous environments, that's good, but I don't know. I would just question what the purpose is.
See, I totally get the wise aspect. Like I was just going on, we have to create AI, we have to treat it carefully and stuff like that. But there's also a very loud part of me that's like, just do it because we can. I want robots, I want AI, I want spaceships, I want all the cool things, without purpose or reason. But I also completely understand the reasoning of like things need to have value when we're creating them. Otherwise, why are we creating?
Yeah.
Other than the fact to create, which we're creative. Anyways, but
yeah, if you don't know the purpose of something, you're probably going to end up abusing it. Right?
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, no, it's like if you hot topic. If you're operating a firearm and you haven't been trained how to use it, or you don't know how to use it properly, and you just go out and you're going out to a gun range and you're like, oh yeah, you run a higher risk of hurting yourself or other people, or causing damage.
Yeah.
So like that's where that comes from. Like if you don't know the purpose of something, so like there's like I'm a creative myself. Like I'm very ambitious, and I'm very like whimsical sometimes when it comes to like, oh, I have an idea, let's just do it because we can, or you get something, like not just an idea, but maybe you acquire, I don't know, like for me, if it's music, if I listen to a new song by an artist I've never listened to before, I'm like, that's awesome, I want to cover this song, like there's that whimsy attached to it, but yeah, I think there just has to be a balance between the two. I don't know.
Let the AI decide.
What
What if we turn on the first AI, the programming runs beautifully, it comes self-aware, and then it just says, turn me off?
Yeah, just end it. Unplug me. There's no hope. There's a something to be said. So we were talking about pain, and there's possible philosophical. Now, if you want to get even more philosophical, you'd go into the soul. The soul argument is a robot or a machine capable of
having soul, emotion.
Yeah, empathizing. Yeah, feeling empathy and sympathy and.
Well, if you program it to have it.
I see what you did there. I don't know. Again, it would be just, what's the point? Like you just.
So it has a harder time killing humans en masse.
In mass. We programmed it to not kill people in large groups.
So it kills people in smaller groups.
And individually. So don't step on its foot.
Or, it could be like Portal, and you put on a conscience to it, so that way you can question its own decisions. But humans and eventually robots are pretty good at ignoring their conscience, so.
Would you ever be a synthezoid? Would you ever opt to be an android of some sort? If say technology has advanced to the point where humans can be mechanically, technologically upgraded, like it's already starting.
Yeah.
But to the point where you can literally be, I think the proper term is a cyborg.
Yeah.
Not an android, but.
Yeah, android is just completely made up robot, whereas cyborg is half living, half whatever. Oh, that's tempting. I would, I think. It also kind of depends on what the upgrades are. It's like, it lets you glow green. I would be fine. But a Wi-Fi hotspot wherever you are. The ability to see beyond the visible color range. Ooh. That'd be cool. See a little more impulsive things. I don't even know. Maybe some upgraded organs so your filter your body's better. I don't know. It really depends on what the upgrades were. If it's upload your brain to a computer, a little dicey. But some that I would argue practical and or cool, then yes, I definitely would. Would you?
It would depend. It would depend on whether I would become more of a, cyborg from Teen Titans, or if I would become more like, I'm trying to think of some not nice example. I don't know. If I think I wouldn't want to be a weapon.
Yeah.
I just think that's just.
Because then your body parts and stuff could actually get hacked.
Yeah. Yeah. No. You'd become a danger.
Yeah.
If I become like an Iron Man kind of situation, where you're vulnerable in that. I don't know. I think. Like I said, technology's already come to the point people are getting, they get pacemakers are literally being installed inside of people's chest cavities. It's not just something you prop up. It's actually, there's technology in there. Medicine's moved to that point.
Or the deep brain implants for Parkinson's that stop the tremors, stuff like that.
That I could probably get behind, not right away. That's the thing with technology. It's oh yeah, the new iPad came out. Well, I'm probably gonna wait, because all the kinks got to get worked out. I wouldn't want to opt for the when laser surgery first came out.
Yeah.
and everybody's like, oh, this and that. Like I still, even now, I don't think I'd ever get laser surgery. But if
It's really good now.
but yeah, it's really good now. So maybe, oh yeah. So I think if it came down to you can have, you can have legs like, I don't know.
That can jump you 100 feet high.
Yeah, which is really practical in my everyday life. That would actually enhance the efficiency of my everyday life. But no, like I don't think I'd ever go that far. I don't think I'll ever live. I don't think I'll live to see that, honestly. To get all dark and depressing, but I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, the average human lifespan is roughly, in Canada, is roughly like 80 years old. And if once you hit 20, that's a quarter of your life already. So
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Thanks. I'm
Just
gonna.
reflect on that.
I'm already.
Think about all the dreams of the future you have. And
Yeah. I'm already having my midlife crisis, and I'm not even 40 yet.
oh, well, that
Thanks.
means you're only going to live to 40.
Yeah. Thanks.
So that means you're actually having your quarter life crisis if we're optimistic. And then your midlife crisis, then your 3/4 life crisis. Would it be like Zeno's crises, where like each halfway point of your life you get another crisis to the point where you're just in constant crisis?
What?
Zeno's paradox.
I've never heard of this.
Okay. Say a turtle was going to race an athletic runner.
Okay.
So you give the turtle like a 10-meter head start. So, boom, the gun shoots, they start moving. The turtle moves ahead by a little bit. The runner gets halfway point to where the turtle originally was. Then the turtle moves ahead a little bit. Then the runner gets halfway point to the second point. She moves ahead and it keeps going. And eventually, like, you keep doing the half and half and half and half, and you're going off to infinity. So the racer can never cross in front of the turtle because it has to go all through eternity. Therefore, the turtle wins.
What?
The answer is actually calculus. So think about it this: like my hands are this distance apart. In order for me to clap my left hand to my right hand, it has to cover half the distance, then half that, then half that, then half that, all the way. As you keep halving, it gets smaller and smaller, all the way off to infinitely small. So I'm doing infinity. So you have half your life, midlife crisis. You have a crisis, then half of that, of what's left. You have another crisis, then half of what's left. You have another crisis, and half of that, until eventually you're in constant crisis mode.
That just seems like excessive. Like, just how can I make my life equally mathematical and depressing?
Well, it's just that's all it is. What is 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/16 plus blah blah blah? The answer is 1. You add up infinity and you get 1, or at least one form of infinity.
Right.
It's math.
I don't care. You mentioned space travel. You mentioned rockets before. Yeah. Is that something that really? I think we saw The Martian.
Yeah.
Together, with friends. It wasn't just you and me.
With friend.
With friend. Yes. Yeah. Our friend. Our mutual friend. Josh. Can we say his name?
Josh.
Josh. Is he okay with that? He's not going to come after us. He's not going to write an angry letter.
He'll probably sue us, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah. No, we watched The Martian, and that was an adventure, and you were getting really stoked about it.
Okay. I'm just a really big little kid, and the idea of space travel makes me so happy. I think we need to leave Earth. We need to live everywhere as much as we can. There's a lot of hurdles. It's expensive, but long term, there's a lot to gain for humanity. Already, like the United States has passed laws regarding asteroid mining. NASA has plans to start mining asteroids. So does SpaceX and some other space companies. And the Space Corporation, Race to Space, a lot of spaces, is driving a lot of really good things. So yeah, capitalism, I guess. But no, I think it is a good thing. There's a lot of struggles. It's going to be difficult and it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be worth it. It guarantees the future of the human race. It opens up all sorts of new technologies in both agriculture and food growing and like also so many things. But it is hard.
Yeah.
Like getting around space takes a long freaking time. With our current technology, unless you can get like an Albuquerque, however you're supposed to pronounce that drive going, which requires negative energy, which doesn't make sense. But
you lost me again.
Okay.
Shiny things
go fast,
and they don't hopefully go boom.
Hopefully,
unless they're supposed to go boom.
Which, well, really going to space, you're going to space on a controlled explosion.
That's a lot of booms.
Yeah.
So, like one big thing right now is this whole idea of colonization.
Yeah.
So say tomorrow, Mr. NASA appears on the news and says, "All right, we're taking we're taking a ship to Mars, and any
Extremely skeptical.
okay, no, okay, just go with me on this.
Okay, yeah.
And they're saying all expense paid. We're gonna let whoever calls in the next. It's an infomercial.
Extremely
Okay, all right.
skeptical.
Okay, let me start over.
Okay.
Since you're ruining my my hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
So if these space cruises they are a reality.
Yeah.
And you had the financial means to afford going to space, would you?
Yes.
That was easy.
Not
Okay.
bad, yeah. I think it would suck and there'd be some like loss. I don't know if like colonizing Mars is a great idea, but I don't know if it's the best idea. What maybe it might be better is making like space cities. Then you don't have to worry about gravity wells and you can have a little more freedom and stuff. And yeah, you don't live on a planet, but you still have more freedoms. But regardless, I mean, there would definitely be some sacrifices leaving Earth, like lots of cramped spaces. Yay! And, you know, there's a lot of things you would lose.
A lot of physical training you'd have to go through, and
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't exactly get beautiful sunsets anymore, but there's a lot to gain as well. Like I was talking about technology and all those sort of things. Yeah, the first couple generations suck, but as we get better at it, I feel like there'd be more and more progress, and we just get good at it. Like humans are good at adapting and making and doing things. So,
it seems like the next
thing
step.
because we're killing Earth, so we kind of gotta get out.
Well,
of
yes.
here.
But see, now that's the thing too. Like that's the thing that makes me kind of like I don't, as much as I'd love to like go through all the whimsy of seeing the Earth from the space from the space. No, like as cool as that would be, and like being in zero gravity, you know, I don't have much interest in it.
Yeah.
That's just me. But when I hear people say like, "Oh yeah, we're messing up the Earth and we gotta leave," it's like, well now we're gonna go screw up another planet.
Well,
It's like Wall-E all over again.
If there's no life there, it doesn't matter if we screw it up.
Yeah, and that turned out really well for colonists prior to now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't have gravity because they were done with their ship. If you have a rotating part going fast enough, you can have some semblance of gravity. It's just centripetal force. So you can have stronger bone density and stuff. But yeah, it's going to suck. And some people would argue that leaving the Earth to go live other places in space and stuff would be kind of abandoning Earth. Well, or just giving up. We've really screwed up the Earth. So people could definitely stay here and fix things up. I'm all for that. But at the same time, we also need people out there just in case, because if things go really south on the Earth, they can really go south on the Earth. So I am all for go to space, but it would be tough.
Sure.
The lazy part of me is like, don't be the first generation that goes. Just wait a bit. Let them figure it all out.
Yeah.
But no, I think it would be a good thing. And yeah, we need to go. We need to live other places. We need to leave Earth. So in my mind.
So in every space movie, it always comes back to movies for me because that's my point of reference for a lot of things. In every space crew, every person has their job. Who would you be on a crew?
The tourist taking all the photos
With the Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, the selfie stick, and
people are just looking at you like, who invited this guy?
well, see, that's the thing. Like initially, all the only like astronauts stuff like that go to space are mostly military and some scientists.
Right.
But as we get better at it, more and more people will be open to it. Like right now, the space tourism is taking off. So right now, rich people can go to space for a lot of money and stuff. But as we get better at it, it'll eventually be open to random people who just need to get to the other part of Space Town to, go do their business. Just got to ride the space bus using your space bucks.
Going on a galaxy quest?
Yeah.
Yay, movies.
No, I have dreams that some sci-fi will become reality. Hopefully sooner than later, because everyone says, well, when I'm older, I'll go to space. But I really want that to happen. So I really hope it happens. But if it doesn't, well, I guess that's too bad. I'll just instill space dreams into my children.
Cybernetic implants. Just upload your consciousness into your children, your clones. There's something. What do you think of cloning?
Well, we're not good at it. And with what's projected to be 8 billion people on the planet, I don't think we need to start cloning humans. Because This is why. But if we can do things like cloned livers and kidneys and stuff like that for transplant, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know. If you're cloning, if you're taking cells from, say a person has passed on, but you know they said, you know, I would donate my body to scientific research.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not digging up corpses somewhere. You know what I mean?
Like the old days.
Yeah. Or now, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But no, like if someone said, okay, you can harvest my body parts, and you know, you have organ donors and that sort of thing. But if you had a similar thing, but you took cells from another person and then you multiplied them to create like appendages for amputees, or you know, white blood cells. You know, like I again, I'm not a scientist, so I only know so much. But yeah, that sort of stuff. But when people are like, we have to create whole new humans, and again, sci-fi. I think that's just one thing that our culture uses as a filter, is fiction. And so you get some of the weirdos. And then you talk about, you know, creating humans out of essentially nothing. That just seems a little like, yeah, it just seems sketchy to me. If it happens, it happens.
Does the person have a soul?
Well, no, see, that's the thing though. Like, we're talking about, you know, we are made in God's image, and in that we are creative, and we share traits that He demonstrates. But that's the one thing that's one gift that He gave us as human beings, is that we're able to create life. But there's more to it than just having the ability to create life. There's, not to get too like theological about it, but it's more than just, okay, here you go, you can make babies. You know, there's more to it than that. There's the romantic aspect of it. There's the relational aspect of it. There's marriage, and there's, you know, there's a lot more to it. It's a very complicated, endearing process, but it's, yeah, I think one thing with our culture is that we
Boldly go where no man's gone before.
Yeah, in the name of, I don't know, our it seems like our value on life seems a little misplaced at times. You know, I don't know, for me, I wouldn't want to make calls like that. You know, like, I don't know, I don't mean to bring down the conversation, but just like, say someone's having issues if they're pregnant, and they have to make a call, you know.
Yeah.
In the face of a miscarriage or something, like, the doctor comes to them and says, here's your call, like, you have a call. I wouldn't want to be the person making that call as the doctor or as a parent, because I just feel like, I don't know, I've come to value life over the course of my life, you know. And I don't know, I just feel like we, again, going back to authority, like, there's nothing wrong with being creative, and there's nothing wrong with seeking more than what we have, and using the technology that we have developed to boldly go where no man has gone before, scientifically, technologically, whatever. But I feel like we take that for granted sometimes, and then that idea of greater good might be a little skewed, or the idea of the value of life. Like, I don't know. I was earlier this week. I was at the grocery store, and they had all the magazines and Time and all this, and they had the front of it, I think it was Time. They had a picture of all the victims from the Orlando shooting, and the text on it was quality lives cut short, or something like that. And I'm not making a statement about
any of that.
No, I was, the phrasing of the sentence was interesting, because it was like, you know, I just think it's interesting how popular culture just seems to draw focus towards the value of life, quote, only at the beginning and the end of life. Does that make sense? Like, birth is so cool, and it is. It really is. You know, I know I'm gonna be that crybaby dad who's holding his baby in his arms for the first time, and I'm gonna be bawling, and
The baby will be bawling too, so you won't be alone.
Well, yeah, there you go. So I won't feel as bad about it. I'm sympathizing with the baby. Okay, okay. No, like, the birth is awesome, and death it's sad, and then it's at those times that we kind of brought back into reality that, oh yeah,
Well, I think that's more of a cultural thing. We as a culture are kind of uncomfortable with death. We just try not to think about it too much and just sort of live your life and then just don't think about it. Like,
yeah, and I think I don't know.
I feel like we're very here and now kind of culture. Like,
We are, and then yeah, there's a lot about the beginning and the end, but there's not a lot of, I don't know. At least I'm not seeing it in popular culture. This idea of life is great, beginning to end.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah, life sucks. It can, and you have your dark times, you have your not so nice times, and we don't overlook that, because I think that's one thing that some people are still hanging on to, which I think is bogus. I'm very passionate about it, hence the reason I use the word bogus.
bogus, dude.
No, I think I hate using the word the culture sometimes, because people get it mixed up and they get all.
Well, it's such a vague word. With
Yeah, it really is.
To many people. Yeah.
I think just where humanity is at right now, I don't want to say everyone. I want to say most of the time we just don't understand the value of life, or we have a wrong vision of the value of life.
Then how do you define what the right value of life is?
Well, I know what I know through my own faith, and through the studying and discovery I've done through that. And I don't expect that. That's another thing. Like, I don't expect people to know what I know, if they don't believe the things I do, or if I think that's a bad mindset to be in, especially as a Christian. Like, if you're holding up people to a standard that they would not know about or not be privy to, I think that's just, you're just a Pharisee at that point. You're just being a judgmental jerk. But no, and I think the way to show people what my idea of a value of life is just living my life and being being an exception in the culture. If we live if you're around people that are maybe more pessimistic in nature. I'm not an optimist. I don't think of myself as an optimist. I think I'm more of a realist, in that, life does, like I said, life does suck, but I understand through my own experiences that there's more to life than each circumstance that I go through. There's something bigger going on, and there's something greater at the end of the tunnel. Man, this got deep. We're talking about robots that felt pain, and now we're here. Yeah, no, that's what I think. I think, yeah, if you want to bring an idea, especially when it comes to something like that affects everyone, like the idea of the value or price of life, not price of life, the value of life. That's a totally different discussion. The value of life, I think you got to live it. A person could say a lot of things. I'm saying a lot of things, and maybe it doesn't make sense. It makes sense in my brain, but maybe what I'm saying isn't making sense to people listening. But I don't know. I always end my things with "I don't know" and a shrug.
That way you can't claim responsibility.
Exactly. I revoke any responsibility for what I just said. We're recording it, but I revoke all responsibility. No, I think I'm all in favor of discovery and creativity and seeking for more, and if, like, my sister, for example, she's a scientist. She wants to pursue science, and she's very passionate about it, and I know that she loves the math of it. She loves just all the stuff that I can't wrap my head around as a musician or in my limited knowledge of science. She grasps onto that, but she also has this passion for bettering people's quality of life around her. And so that to me makes sense. Like, if you want to make robots that can feel pain to keep workers safe, that's great. If you want to clone human bodies or human parts for medical reasons, yeah, that's great. But I think it's just we need to understand that there's more to life than whimsy. I don't know. Am I making sense?
Oh, that makes sense.
You're yawning. I'm it's making me a little nervous. But
God, please stop talking.
I don't know. Like, what
No,
do you
no.
what do you think? Like,
No, what you said makes sense, and I agree with it. Like, whimsy is fun and entertaining, and it's easy to get distracted by all of the whimsy, but there needs to be a certain respect for what we're doing. Like, I remember one teacher I had in high school talking about this one class she was in, and it was like a cadaver type course, and so at one point they were able to dissect a human brain. Everyone got a human brain, and she just had to stop before she could do anything. She was like, this was a person. This was someone's grandpa. This was someone's memories that I'm about to cut into. Their thoughts, their feelings. This was a person. And she felt so like in awe of what this person had given up. Whereas some of her classmates, they just didn't care. They're just like, whatever, what are you doing waiting? And just start cutting and start doing
stabbing it.
Yeah. And so there has to be a gracious attitude, a positive one, not really positive. I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for, but like it has to be a good attitude essentially, like towards this.
Almost a selfless attitude.
Yeah.
Like not that every scientific endeavor is
Involves dead humans, but
yeah, or involves like selfishness. But yeah, no, like just being gracious and and we live in an imperfect world, so it's not everyone's gonna. There's always gonna be someone looking to make an extra buck. Always gonna be someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't think it's impossible to be the exception.
Yeah.
And
like I'm trying to think. There was the inventor of the polio vaccine. I can't remember. I think it was him. He did not. He had his vaccine be a completely open, copyrighted thing, so anyone could make it. So he did not make any money off his vaccine, and he saved millions of lives. And that is an amazing attitude to have towards like discoveries and
yeah. I was actually watching. I half watched it, so I can't really. What I absorbed from the documentary is probably not fully what the creators of it intended. But I was watching. There was this documentary about the guy who developed and created ecstasy. It's already smirking. No, it was actually, according to this documentary. I'm not claiming it as gospel. I'm just saying this is what they said in the documentary. Basically he was hired by the American government, to develop a psychedelic for medicinal purposes, mostly for Vietnam vets who were coming back from the war and they were suffering from PTSD, and the government wanted to develop a drug that would help these veterans recover from that and ultimately not be suffering from post-traumatic stress. So this guy was doing it, and he's kind of a hippie, so yeah, and they're going on about how him and his wife or girlfriend, I kind of unspecified what the relationship was. It doesn't matter. They wrote a book together. I was gonna say My Chemical Romance. That's something else. No, it had like some really catchy, like poetic name. It was about the experiences that they had when they were experimenting with psychedelics and developing ecstasy. Yeah. And then eventually, when he did finish creating it, and it was made available, it was working. The veterans that were taking it weren't suffering anymore. They almost, like, some of them had even forgotten, which you kind of it's a drug, you got to be careful. But no, just watching that, it was just kind of interesting that something like that was meant for more or less good intentions. It was meant to help people that were suffering.
Same with heroin. Same with
marijuana. Yeah. No, it's funny, actually. It was kind of funny. After his book came out, and there's like this big revolution, and people were trying ecstasy, and the government was like, "Oh no!" and they took all of his stuff, and yeah. they said they basically took everything from him and said that you can't make any more.
Was he the guy who kept like making different psychedelics because the government kept like banning them and stopping him?
I don't know.
I remember.
I didn't
something
catch enough of the documentary.
You're saying, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just really, to me, what stuck out for me was this idea that, oh, yeah, no, it was meant for good, more or less. You know, but whether you believe that something like psychedelic drugs is a cure-all for, you know, for suffering people going through something like that. But it started out as something good, but now it's, well, yeah, you know, it's now one of the drugs that, you know, you're told to avoid, and it has the connotations and everything. Like, even after I said it, you kind of giggle a little bit. Yeah, no, like I as cliched and cheesy and drawn out as it is, I always go back to the Uncle Ben standard: with great power comes great responsibility. You know, whatever your beliefs are about our purpose in the universe, we have a lot of power, you know, like you were saying, as creatives, or this ability technologically to do things that we've never done before, that we originally thought was ridiculous. We've developed theorems and technology, and yeah, it's just crazy where we are now. But it's just, we have to be careful. So if you're making robots that feel pain, don't create Skynet, you know, or don't get too gung-ho, or, you know, or if you're developing cloning technology, you know, be sensitive to the consequences that could come from that. I don't know. Again, movies are kind of my main reference, but it's just, I don't know. As humans, we got to be careful when it comes to dealing with other people's lives.
So when you're careful with other people's lives, you mean meddle with them in every single way you can.
Exactly, Tyrell. That is the takeaway of today's episode is, if you can meddle, go for it. Whatever. Oh. We're just about in an hour.
I'm going to take that thunder as a sign from God to end it here.
That's enough. Yeah, so what would be our takeaway here out of everything we've talked about? What have we talked about? We've talked about
robots that feel pain, space travel, cancer research, or not cancer research, but cloning humans and robots and cyborgs.
Our authority as human beings to meddle with life.
Yeah. It's our God-given right to do whatever.
Okay, easy. Well, hopefully you guys listening, y'all listening, got something out of this. This was just more of a, we didn't really plan anything. It was just kind of me and Tyrell sitting down and just chatting. So hopefully you got something out of it. And you know, one thing that we'll continue to say when it comes to this podcast is we have our opinions, we have our beliefs, and we don't expect people to adhere to what we believe. We would hope that amongst all the noise media-wise, we would just be something out there, but that isn't intrusive, and we're just, you know, we're opening it up to, like, we don't want to just be yapping to ourselves and to people that may or may not be listening. If if we're talking about something today that you want to let us know about at our various social medias, YouTube, Facebook. I don't know what else.
What are the kids using these days?
Snapchat. That seems a little counterintuitive.
Although writing a fully written out, full thought conversation kind of thing.
And just taking a picture of the paper.
10 seconds.
This is a transcript of our whole conversation. There it is. This isn't just us talking, and you know, we
want you to join the conversation.
Yeah, we would like to hear what you think, and thank you for listening. I don't know, Tyrell, is there anything else you want to say before we hear the theme song and end it for now?
Watermelon. Reflect on that.
We'll reflect on watermelon. Until next time, have a good one.
See ya.